What's up, guys? This is episode 10 of Young Listeners Talk. It's me and Lilla are in person now together because we're going to Sheffield tomorrow. But we're here with Benjamin Macintyre, so introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Benjamin Macintyre. I'm also I'm not no longer a sub junior. Now I'm a junior. Just turned New Year, so I'm a first year junior. 2005. Previously in 93 kg weight class. Also just switched over to the 105 kg weight class. So early junior, early 105. I competed at European Championships, and I also competed in Nordic Championships. I'm from Denmark, so yeah, I've been competing for like 3 years by now, something like that. And yeah.
So how did you start like general weight training, and then what got you into powerlifting?
Yeah, so I started off training, or like got into the mindset of training like when I was like 14, 15, something like that. I watched like Brian Shaw and all those guys doing strongman lifts. I remember that one video like 2013 where like Brian Shaw and Lawrence Charlet broke the deadlift world record like 5 times, something like that. And that's when I started like in my mindset to set myself up for training. And then I got into specifically powerlifting. Also, this happened right before I actually went to the gym. While seeing like Larry Reels and Caleb Woolman and Steffi Coe and all those guys when they were the peak of powerlifting, something like that. Specifically Larry Reels, really. And then I started in the gym and immediately started powerlifting. Already knew that I wanted to do powerlifting. And just try and like literally maximize my squat, bench, and deadlift as much as possible from day one. So I did that just in a commercial gym for a couple of weeks. Then I found a real powerlifting local gym where I like lifted and competed in, and the rest is history.
Is it the same gym that you still train at right now?
No, it closed like a couple of months ago. Because of like financial stuff. Like the owner was an old powerlifter from like the 80s and 90s, but he's no longer a serious powerlifter or anything like that. And it wasn't like a business that actually made money, so it didn't really make sense for him to keep putting money into
it. In Denmark, do you guys have the same club system as in Sweden, where a gym, there's obviously normal gyms, but then there's gyms that are powerlifting clubs, so you compete for them. That's how you compete at a
I think it's the same system. So you have to be a part of a club to be able to compete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
France has the same thing too.
That's cool.
Yeah. So would you want to go through like your first competition, how that went, and then like chronological order to like where you're at now?
Yeah, we can go for that. So also in Denmark, combined with this club thing, we have also club competitions. Where it's like one person does one lift, so you set one person for each squat, bench, and deadlift. So one guy that does a squat, one guy does the bench, one guy does the deadlift. And then you like take the combined IPF points from that, and the best club wins. That's actually my first competition. Yeah, it's really fun actually. I don't know why it's nowhere else in the IPF, but that's where I did my first couple of competitions. It was like deadlift only competitions because that is what I was the best at. That was the club wanted me to do. So I did the deadlift stuff there. In my first ever competition, I was 15. I did 252.5 kg deadlift. And
what body weight?
Was like, I think I weighed in the 89, maybe 90.
Okay.
Something like that. Then my next competition was regionals, something like that. And that was my first like full competition with squat, bench, and deadlift, where I totaled like 627 kilos. I was also 15 years old at that time. Squatted 215, benched 137, and deadlift 275. My only 9 for 9 meet as of this day still. Yeah. I really had no idea what I was doing, but I ended up with a 9 for 9 day.
First for you.
Yeah, it really is. But we can get into that later on. There's like some reasons. But yeah. So that was my 9 for 9 day. Like amazing competition. Everything went well. I had nationals right after, like 2 weeks after that.
What year was this?
I think this was 2021. Yeah, it was 2021.
Yeah.
And it was like in August. So I had this competition regionals right before I turned 16. There was like some unofficial world records or whatever. I don't know. It was the highest on open powerlifting at the time. I think it's actually. but I don't really know. I don't think they even counted that in because it was regionals in Denmark. I don't think that's a part of open powerlifting. But it was it was heavier than the top one, so that was cool for me at that point. And then I had nationals like 2 weeks later, where I again failed my third deadlift at 280 kilos, but I made progress on squat and bench. And yeah, well, I still won nationals because, like, in Denmark at that point in time, it's crazy how the sport has grown. At that point of time, there was like 2 other guys than me, something like that, and they were like 150 kilos below, something like that. I don't remember. And now there's like maybe 20 guys my weight class just 2 years later, something like that. So it's very, very cool to see. Yeah, you just want me to go through because I competed a lot. Like I competed
so you
20
did
times.
nationals and you won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how did that go? Like, were you filled out at 93 yet, or were you still in the like high 80s?
I was already close to 93 at that point. I was like maybe 91, 92, maybe probably close to 92, something like that. But I was already pretty close to 93. I never like actually filled out a weight class. I never had to cut or anything like that. So yeah, I did nationals there. Didn't really have any exciting competitions until nationals again, which was the same story, just not 9 for 9, but I still won like pretty big. There isn't really any competition for me in Denmark here.
So that's the next nationals.
Yeah, that's next nationals.
Yeah, and what numbers were you at by then?
At then, I only got off with 225 squat, but that was my opener, so it was still 10 kilos more. But I had some technical issues, and this is where like my squat started to become a poverty squat. Because when looking at the numbers, like I was an all-right squat in the beginning, but then I learned to bench press, and I got 160 kilos there. So I put on like 22 kilos to my bench press, and I did 285 deadlifts, also 10 kilos more there. So a little bit more on the deadlift, a little bit more on the squat, and a lot more on the bench. And that trend continued for a whole more year, pretty much.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's some really good numbers to start off with.
Yeah,
16 centimeters. Yeah.
I got pretty strong pretty quickly when I started training, pretty much.
Yeah, one thing, do you know your measurements in like how long your arms are compared to your body?
Yeah. I have 194 centimeters, like wingspan from arm to arm.
Yeah.
And I'm 182 centimeters, something like that.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
How is it good at bench?
Yeah,
that makes no sense. Also, I have a very, very, very short torso and very long arms, so it's perfect built for the deadlift. But my bench just was the one that like was the best to keep progressing. But it's also, when you look at leverages by measurements, it's a little bit different by looking at leverages while you're actually benching. Because I got a pretty big arch, pretty wide grip, like Japanese grip. I've optimized my bench in so many ways that even though on paper I should have bad leverages for it, I actually end up, when looking at the bench itself, it actually looks pretty good. It looks all right, I would say.
It's kind of like Bob Matthews. You know, as his job.
Yeah, exactly.
He has long arms, but he compensates with technique and like arch.
And brute strength, he's just kind of strong.
Yeah, he's an anomaly.
You see, he just like 2 weeks ago switched over to brute strength by just does
no leg
and he's just still as strong. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But continuing, so you did your second nationals. Did you have any thoughts about like international competitions or any like bigger goals?
Yeah.
How does it work in Denmark to get chosen?
Yeah, so actually right after my first nationals, even though when I look at back, it was kind of silly, but I thought I wasn't going to get allowed to be in the national team because I missed that last deadlift. But I still was allowed, even though I was like 100 kilos above everybody else at that time. So I still got allowed, of course. And when you're going to national team in Denmark, we have like a sub-junior and junior team that is different from the open team. And there we have to compete at Nordic championships. That's not like we can choose. So we have to compete at nationals and Nordic championships. And then European and World Championships are optional, or like there's something the team decides. And Worlds is something we never really send people to here in Denmark. I don't think there's actually ever been a sub-junior sent to Worlds as of yet. But I think that should be changed pretty soon, and it will be changed pretty soon. I'm very certain about that.
Yeah,
we have like the exactly same here in Sweden.
Yeah, in Sweden you have to win nationals, get like not like 6 for 9 and be ahead. You have to like win with a good total and stuff, and be like 8, 9 for 9. And then they also just have to like you, and you have to be good internationally. So they're really like, it's really hard. and then once you get in, then you get to go to Nordics, and then the year after you get to go to Euros or Worlds.
Yeah, at that point you're just like a junior or open, so it doesn't really matter at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had to win nationals 3 times in a row, and I still wasn't allowed. Like,
Yeah, in the US or like Spain or France, you win nationals, you're automatically
yeah, it's crazy.
When you're going to like international cups, the Denmark pay you, like the powerlifting federation?
Yeah, they pay for everything, so that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with Sweden. That's their like excuse. They don't want to take anyone because they're paying for you. But in my opinion, if someone's good enough and they're willing to pay, just let them go.
Yeah, that was the same thing here. That was also why I couldn't compete in 2022 at Euros and Worlds. That was because the payment stuff, because they need to pay me to go, and they didn't have the money in the federation for it. But I wanted to pay myself, but that wasn't the thing. I couldn't do that, so that was pretty annoying.
Yeah. So you were talking about 2021. You were already in the national team. Did you do Nordics or any international?
No, I got into the national team after Nordics at that point.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
nationals.
what about 2022? You did nationals, and did anything happen with the team there?
I got allowed to compete at Nordic Championships in 2022. But other than that, it didn't really happen anything else to the team. Well, I got a leader switch, so that's why I think people are going to be allowed to compete at Worlds and stuff like that very soon.
But how did that go then in Nordics 2022?
Yeah, that was like my worst meet of all time for sure. I went probably the worst meet of powerlifting history, and that's like where pretty much everything changed for me. I went 2 for 9 in Nordic Championships. Yeah. And there was like no technical issues. I was just straight up weak, and it wasn't like it was not super like unserious attempts. Like it was the national team coach who decided all the attempts for me, and they all thought it was like completely fine. But I only got my open and then squat 225, then moved up to 240. It was just too much. I was just weak. I mean. Can't really explain too much else but strength for that. And for the bench press, I failed my opener 157.5 3 times on strength, nothing else.
Oh.
Yeah, and I did in the warm up to people asking for that. Like I did 152.5 last warm up, and all the national team coach and everything was that's fine. We just go it, and it looks just fine, perfect. We go ahead and go 157. And to me, it also felt it's all right. Don't want, when you're in that situation, don't want to tell yourself that it feels bad because you're just going to set yourself up for something bad in the competition.
Yeah, for sure.
So telling yourself, like, this might not feel all right, but it's going to be better in the stage, something like that, which is also often the case. But it just wasn't the case here. And for deadlifts, I was just, after that squat and bench, I just completely lost all momentum and everything. It was actually a little bit better. I still got like 270, something like that, which is still very, very low for me. But then I failed 285 and 287 on strength, both. So that was by far the worst meet, and actually took me a very long time to get back from that. I was pretty crushed from that for a long time.
How was prep into it? Like, was there something like? Did you really tell it was terrible or what?
No, that's the thing. Prep was amazing. By far the best prep I've ever had. Like I hit insane numbers for all lifts. I hit like PRs across the board all the time. I was very, very strong every single week. This was also the first time where I did my own training. Didn't have a coach on because my coach stopped coaching people at that time. So I just did my own training for this meet. And it actually went amazing for the prep. I squatted 12 kilos more than I've ever done, and that was I was stuck before that, and then I also benched like 170 kilos, which was also like 10 kilo PR, and I deadlifted 300 kilos for the first time there, and it wasn't even like that difficult. It was amazing prep. I was very, very strong. Also, just 7 days out or 14 days out. But I actually got a coach 14 days out from the competition, and he wanted to completely change out my taper and everything. And I think that is a big part of it, because he didn't have nowhere near the same plan as I had for the prep and taper for the competition. So we changed everything completely up 14 days out, decided to now we're going to max out and then we're going to deload right before the competition. And many things went wrong. I think that was certainly not a very good decision at all to change everything up so quickly. And also I got a little bit sick. It wasn't too much, didn't think about it, I felt fine. But my body weight dropped a lot, but I didn't really took that as a red sign, even though it was, of course, a red flag. But I weighed in under 90 kilos, and I had my entire prep at around 92.5, 93-ish.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was probably very dehydrated, very detrained from a 2-week taper. I've never done that before, and just weak from that. So that completely changed a lot of things after that competition.
Yeah, that now it's more understandable why it went how it went. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was that? Because Nationals was in August. When was that?
Actually, Nationals was in April in 2022. Changed time there. And Nordics is in the middle of September. So it's a while for that. And that was the first like straight up bad meet I've ever had. And also hopefully not the last, but yeah.
Yeah. So after that, what was the next? How was the training after? You said you were really, really down. Like, what got you back into it? What was the next competition?
The next competition was I did a bench only nationals. I also started competing at that because why not? I was suddenly good at bench for some reason. So I did that, and I got revenge in the 157.5. So I did that like 3 weeks later, something like that, just to like clear the mind blocker of that. So that was awesome to do. And then I kind of got back into training. I started training a little bit with my YouTube, Instagram older brother, Regis. I don't know if you've seen that guy.
Yeah. I've seen him. He trains at like where he used to at least train with the bumper plates. Like
Yeah.
8 plates.
He trains at a commercial gym.
Yeah, I've seen now he does like he's coached by Joey Flex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started. I trained a little bit with him and chilled about with him, and that was pretty cool. Got me back into some stuff. Felt all right again, and I was ready for a new prep and start up again. I was never like in consideration of stopping anything like that, but I was really down after that period of time. But I always knew like my goal is still to get stronger and still to like get as good as possible, and this was just a part of the process, and just got to continue on.
Yeah. So what was so you did bench nationals? You won, right? Or how did that go?
Yeah, like second place was like 100 kilos, something like that.
Oh, damn. So what was after that? How did you get into like Euros and Nordics again? And
Yeah, so after bench nationals, I had like a long period of time. That was also with the new coach that I got at Nordic Championships, getting used to their kind of training. And I had a long prep before any competitions, and it took me a while to just get back up to like baseline strength. Even though it's crazy, like that strength loss I had before Nordic Championships, it happened within like 7 days, something like that. Because 7 days out, I was very, very strong. But it took me months to get back to just baseline strength. But I got back within like I think 2 to 3 months, something like that.
Did you stay with the same coach?
Yeah, I stayed with him. I gave him a chance, a real chance. I didn't want to like just bail out because we messed up this one opportunity right here. So I stayed with him and did that actually for a whole year. That probably wasn't the best decision because I didn't really like the training style that much after a couple of months. And I didn't really make any progression almost for a full year after that. My bench still did, of course, because my bench just continued to always go good, despite my leverages for some reason. But squat and deadlift was pretty much stagnated for a whole year by that time. So I competed at some local competitions. A little bit, didn't really make any progression there. And then it was back to nationals again in April. Now in 2023. And there, I obviously had pretty big goals and like wanted to break all expectations and not go 2 for 9 and everything. So it went a little bit better. I went 8 for 9, I think, or 7 for 9. I think I went 8 for 9. So in terms of that, I at least got better. What
were you totaling by then?
At that time, I totaled. I think that was 690, 680. No, there was less than that. 675 or something, 670 at that nationals right there. So I squatted, I think, 237.5. That was the first time I've ever had competition at a national level, because the previous years, that was literally me and no one else or people that like trained for a couple of months, something like that. But this time there was a guy, Saxo, who's, I don't know if you've seen that guy on Instagram. He squats like crazy.
Squat specialist.
Yeah. He is getting stronger though. He is getting stronger. He's from like 2007 and squats a heck of a lot. So we actually had a squat battle there the first time I had it in competition. I was 100 kilos ahead of him in the total, but we still had a squat battle, which was pretty fun. Because I was probably squat, he was squat specialist. So that's the first time I had to squat something real in a competition. I had to do it to win the squat, because I also had a goal of winning every discipline, because I did that the last 2 years. So I still did that, still won the squat, and I benched 172, which was pretty good. But again, only actually 2 kilos more than the prep I had for Nordic Championships 2022.
Yeah.
So it didn't make a lot of progress, but I mean, it was still progression, I guess. And it was in competition compared to a training lift, so that's good. Then I deadlifted, I think like 280, something like that, and then I missed 290 on pure strength. So I was still pretty much stuck at that level. I didn't really progress anything. Maybe in training I did sometimes, but it was very inconsistent. It didn't really actually transfer over to the platform. So pretty annoying with that. So that's when I decided to get a new coach. I got Michael C. I asked for Solfessor. What do you call it? I asked for Solfessor if I could get him as coach. He said he was fully occupied and wouldn't be able to get me within a couple of months or even more than that. But he recommended me to get Michael C, so I did that. And I don't know, do you guys know Michael C?
Yeah, he was in the battle with like Perk and Taylor and like a while ago in the 74s. Yeah, and he got injured. He's been like trying to come back for so long.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Yeah, he was that one guy who almost challenged Taylor Atwood. He was like ahead of Taylor Atwood, and then he got injured in the deadlift warm-ups, only did 25 kilos.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he was ahead of him after squat and bench by like a bit, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but he is getting back to stuff, and he's my coach still right now, and has been since then. And it took only like 3 months with him, something like that. With that system, he does the same system as Solfessor, where I could notice a huge difference, and I actually started getting stronger. First time in a very long time. So that was very, very nice. I had Open Nationals there in 2023 to compete at, just to test out, because I didn't want to completely leave everything up to the coach and just have faith in that, because I knew from having a coach for a full year that I just trusted, like maybe it will work out. It didn't work out. It never did.
Trust the shoes.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually know, like, is this worth it? Something like that. So I competed there, and I totaled 700 kilos, which was significantly more than ever. And it was just a train-in meet still, and I had a pretty good, all-right squat, a very, very good bench press, and a much better deadlift than ever. So that was like, at that point I knew like this was the way to go, and I just continued on with that ever since, pretty much.
Yeah, what was leading on? Like, how did you get to Euros then?
Yeah, so I think that was Nordic Championships and Euros very close to each other after that. Don't think there was anything in between that. No, that wasn't. So we started the prep for Nordic Championships with the goal of hopefully also being allowed to compete at European Championships. Then, like a couple months out from Nordic Championships, I thought I was also allowed to compete at European Championships. But we actually tried to peak fully for both competitions, and actually mostly for Nordic Championships. Because at that point, it was allowed to break official world records in Nordic Championships. So my primary goal for that was to try and break that deadlift world record at Nordic Championships. Because some guy, Malik, I don't know if you know him, Malik from France.
Yeah, of course.
He bumped up the total world record.
800.
Yeah, he bumped up the total world record by literally 90 kilos in a year.
Yeah.
Like that 700 kilos I did at Open Nationals would have been a total world record just like 2 years ago, and now it's like 100 kilos off. So pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I prepped for Nordic Championships to try and break that deadlift world record, and the prep went pretty well overall. I gained strength in all 3 lifts for the first time ever at once. And I did squat wasn't too good. Continued as a poverty squatter. So I squatted like 235, 237, something like that. Also, only on my second attempt, and I ditched the third attempt, even though strength was fine. I was just still needing. I still needed to figure out how to squat in competition with like. I have pretty bad leverage for squat, so everything needs to be optimal for me to squat. So I didn't know how to do that yet in competition. I still don't know fully, but didn't like have the recipe down for the squat as much as I had for bench and deadlift. So I just decided to call it a day there. I knew the main goal was anyways to break the deadlift world record. So call it pretty safe. Bench went really, really well. 3 for 3, 179 kilos, which was breaking the Nordic record by like 20 kilos. So that was pretty fun. And yeah, that was Nordic record, national record, and stuff like that. And then for deadlifts, the main goal was, of course, to hit the 312. Although after the second attempt at like 295, there was another guy who was also competing. I didn't really know who he was until the
Swedish.
day. Yeah, the Swedish guy. Nemo Stan.
Yeah. We also had him on
it was pretty cool. Yeah. So he squatted like way more than me, and I thought maybe he's just not in the consideration after that. That's cool. We can just continue on. But his bench went really bad, and my bench went really good. So I gained like 40 kilos on him there, and then we were still in competition. So the national team coach after my second attempt said, like, if he gets his third attempt or whatever it is, he has to pull in ahead of me, then I'm not allowed to go on the world record. So I was really happy he didn't do that, so I could still go and try for the world record. Also, like, I would much rather have an attempt, even if I didn't get it at the world record, than compete against and win against another person in a placing. That's just been the mindset from the beginning, literally from day one, as we talked about with like little reels and all that stuff, was just to increase my squat, bench, and deadlift. It wasn't to win any titles or win any like competition, anything like that. I never cared about that from day one. That's just like why I compete, if that makes sense. So that was very annoying if I wasn't allowed to try that out because what another guy did. Yeah. But I tried it, didn't get it. Although it was actually pretty close on like other times in the deadlift. I think like 307 would have been there, something like that. Maybe something like that. It was a good attempt. I gave what I had. So that's Nordic Championships, and then I had European Championships 2 weeks after that. Maybe it was for 3 weeks, but it was definitely not a long time. I had like a half a block to prep for that, but despite that, it actually went very, very well at European Championships. It went better than at Nordics, so I went ahead, knew this was my last like real competition as a sub junior. I would be like 5 years until I had to do something real, is what I'm viewing it as, because that's when I'm a last year junior, but I'm probably having some important competitions before that. But I went ahead, squatted I think 240, which was a PR or match PR, and then I benched 177, which was slightly less than what I did at Nordics, but the bench at Nordics was much better, and I immediately felt that, so I just called it safe with like 2 kilos less. That should be still fine. And it was. I got that. And then for the deadlift was the exact same story. Got to try and attempt the world record deadlift 312. Hope the other guy that I'm competing against doesn't get his left, so I can still try and get mine. And this time it was Brista from Germany. He was also pretty cool.
Wasn't Jordy there too?
No, Jordy competed at the Worlds and then he retired. Basically. He competed at Worlds, won that, and then he just switched focus to other stuff than powerlifting since then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't compete at European Championships, although that would have been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I competed against Brista there, and there was a sex story. It was like, if he gets this and not gets this, I'm not allowed to go on the deadlift world record. Because like if he didn't get his lift, I would win if I only did like 3 or 5 or something like that. But luckily he did get it or didn't get it or whatever it was, so I could go to the 312 and attempt to do a full record. And there, the strength was actually better than the Nordic Championships, and I logged it out. I just fell backwards afterwards. So that
I saw that. That was really, like, if that was me, that would be really annoying.
Yeah, it was
I
very,
felt the
very
pain.
annoying.
I could see the pain.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was very, very annoying. Since that was like, I think in a video in like 2021 or something like that, at the very beginning, that was my goal to try and get. And I literally held in my hands, had in the logout, but still couldn't get it. So it is what it is. I felt the pain for like a couple seconds, but then went back to training. So nothing to do about it and just continue on, pretty much.
Yeah. So how has the training been now since Euros and all of that?
I should have gone up 105 earlier, man. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're 182. You said.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Esther was also
that's
like 10 centimeters shorter than me, and the same with Jordi and Malik and all those guys. I'm like by far the tallest of all of them, so pretty obvious. But I really wanted that 93 deadlift world record. So that was like the only reason why I stayed down there. But yeah, recently after European Championships, I've gone to 105, as we talked about in the beginning. I'm only at like 97 right now, and I used to weigh like ish 95 before European Championships and Nordic Championships. I just hoped to lose weight on the travel competitions, but it always worked. I knew I could just weigh like 95 and just still compete without focusing on like weight cutting or anything like that. So I did that, and now I'm like 97. So I'm only like 2 kilos heavier, something like that, maybe 2.5. But not much heavier. But it has like made I think I'm like almost 50 kilos stronger in the total, if not more, right now.
Yeah, I've seen your training is going really good.
Yeah, I totaled just the other day, or like 2 weeks ago, I totaled 35 kilos more than European Championships, but for triples. So like, yeah. So I've gained more strength in the last 10 weeks than I have in the last 2 years, literally.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you're weighing 97 right now. We texted a little bit about this. I'm actually wondering, how's your nutrition? You're coached by Swole Fesser in nutrition. Like, what are you doing now that you're going up a weight class?
Didn't really change much else. Just increase the calories. I've been slowly. I have like some stomach digestion issues, so there's a lot of carbs that I don't take well, which is also an issue with the deadlift sometimes. But we've slowly increased the carbs a little bit, decreased the fat. But other than that, that's really just increased the macros overall to increase the calories. I used to have a hard time eating enough, but right now it's actually not too bad. I'm eating 5,400 calories, and which is a lot because I've always needed a lot to gain weight. But also for like a 182 centimeter person at like almost 100 kilos, I don't think it's like super uncommon. And also I've just always had a very, very fast metabolism. But it's actually not too difficult to eat at the moment. I can eat it somewhat comfortably.
Yeah. How does a day of eating look like? You're eating 5,000 calories.
Yeah, I mean, I can go through it. It's like the exact same every single day. I don't change anything out ever. So like that's also with the stomach thing that I have. Whenever I'm out eating different stuff, that gets very annoyed. So when I can, which is always because I just live and train, I'm just eating the exact same number like meals every single day. So there's really like zero change in calories from day to day or macros or anything like that. That's just what feels best for me and my body.
But how do you like eat in a day? Like, give us an example of your breakfast, lunch, dinner, meals. Like,
like quick and short. My breakfast is like 5 eggs and some cereal, some like oats, stuff like that, and then some juice. And then I eat a lot of fruits throughout the day. I eat 2 apples, 2 oranges, 100 grams of grapes, 1 kiwi, and 50 grams of blueberries, and also half a liter of fruit, different juice. Then for breakfast, I just have rice and beef. And for dinner, I have noodles and chicken. Stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. And if I just add it up, that's like 5,400 calories.
So you get it in with 3 meals only?
Yeah, I mean, all of the fruits are throughout the day and all that stuff, and it's actually quite a lot. I think it's almost like 700 calories of fruit, something like that.
That's good. Nice.
Yeah, if not even more actually. I didn't calculate that exactly, but it's close to 1,000 calories of just fruits and juice. So that makes it a little bit easier.
You know the lifter, the 120 junior, Jonah?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, he eats like the same, like 5K calories too.
Yeah.
He says he has to drink his rice to get in 5,000. He says he makes like a shake with like some rice that dissolves and he drinks it because otherwise he can't get it in 5,000.
Damn. I mean, I've always had a very hard time eating enough. But recently it's been pretty easy actually. Just from getting the consistency in. I think this is the most important thing. For me at least, eating the same meals every day makes my hunger also be the same every day, so I know exactly where I'm at with that. I like wake up the same time, go to bed the same time, I eat the exact same, I train the same time. I have a very, very like optimized lifestyle for that. So that also means like I can know exactly if I'm having a hard time with this meal, I can just change this around, and then for the rest of whatever, like whenever I eat this, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. So about your lifestyle, so you're 18 now. Do you guys have like gymnasium, like high school that ends at 18?
We have that. Yeah, we have that. But I actually dropped out of that when I was 16, something like that. Yeah, 16. Right before Nationals 2022, or right around that time. Because I wanted to pursue full-time powerlifting coaching, which is what I've been doing. So that's actually, I just got into a new apartment right here with my girlfriend. So I'm living here right now off of that, just like a week ago. So that's very nice.
Nice. So you live off of coaching and lifting or no?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, that is very, very, very cool. That has always been like been the dream. Obviously, I also have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and in 2021 and 2022, mostly 2021, I focused a lot on that and grew it like a heck of a lot, and came up to like over 30,000 subscribers. So that is also where a lot of the revenue came in the beginning. Now I just use it as like a vlog place and marketing for coaching. Don't really use it for revenue or anything like that. Since I do that from the coaching, and it's like very unpredictable how much money you can get from YouTube ad revenue. Like
for sure.
Sometimes you could make like $100. Sometimes it could be like $2,000. Like
so,
really no consistency.
If you don't mind me asking, how many athletes do you have on your roster?
Right now, I have 26, 27. This year, right here, I just opened up. I had a cap of 20 athletes in 2023. But right now, just like, what is this, a month and a half ago, something like that, I opened up for more spaces. Open up to 30 was my goal for the year. But I'm already now up to that 26, 27, and it's still like comfortable. I can still get to everyone at the time I want to, and like still, it's not a big stressor. So I'm probably going to raise it a little bit more this year.
And if you don't mind me asking, how much do you charge?
I charge 99 USD for new people.
Per block?
Per month.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I think I started off with 69 USD a month in the beginning when I started coaching. But I also know I want to focus on, like, if I want to make it a full-time living, I would have to have like 80 clients or something like that. 80 people if I charge 69. And I want to make it a full-time living, but I don't want to have 80 because I would much rather like focus on actually quality for some people than just have a lot of people. And I don't want to have coaches under me, at least as of now, because I want to have full control under like what's going under the people that I help coach. So that's why I'll have to like raise the price a little bit over time. Ideally, I would like to have somewhere between 20 and 40 at like ever, probably. Not like 80 like Marcellus Solvesser has. That's crazy.
That's.
I don't know how he does that, but
and he still gives really good service to everyone. So
yeah, it's insane. Like he usually responds to me within like 6 hours, if not even quicker than that. I don't get it, but also because he has like a full time, like everything else, like he has family, kids, and training himself. And all that stuff. It's insane. Although maybe I could do that later on. It's not like I have like family and kids and everything. So, but for now I'll just take it like opening a few spots up a year, probably.
So like your coaching, like do you have like a coaching philosophy, like specific way that you like coach like most of your clients? Of course it's individualized, but like do you have like anything that like is like a training style?
I mean, it's kind of within the same system as I'm doing myself, so it reminds a little bit of the craftsmanship style, like this J-Pop, Ashton Rusk, and all those guys that Solfessor does. Since it would kind of be weird if I trained all the people that I coach a very different way to where I trained myself, because I believe in what I do myself and I believe in what I give the people that I coach. So if you could want to like give it within a system, I would say that is the closest one to it. The biggest differences from that is sometimes I give people different block lengths. Sometimes the craftsmanship is only 4 weeks, and that's the only way to do it. I think there are some exceptions to that, but that is like very, very set in stone. Where I'm mostly a little bit more loose about that. Some people I'm also tend to give like some people 5-week blocks, some people 3-week blocks and stuff like that. But I also think that's within the system. So I would say definitely like the craftsmanship system is the closest to what I'm doing, or like resembling.
Yeah, so you do like very big week to week jumps and like a lot of bodybuilding and like accessories.
Yeah, generally, a lot of focus on accessories, and like pretty low stress. I would say the average RPE for squat and bench deadlift sets within a block are very low compared to a lot of other people. But really focusing on like that momentum within a block and hitting those big end of block top sets, while still not necessarily starting off pretty heavy at all. So definitely still within that system, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So do you have any future competitions coming up or like plans in powerlifting right now?
I mean, right now I'm just focusing on training, getting stronger, filling out 105 slowly. I'm doing like SJ bulk, where I'm just gaining a little bit of weight all the time. I'm probably like, by like just me feeling this bulk right here, I'm probably gonna do it for the rest of my life, man. It's crazy. Yeah. So the plan is just to be in a slight calorie surplus for a very long time. Get stronger. Obviously, I have competitions. I have to compete at nationals and Nordics every year since I'm in the national team. So I have to compete there. I'm gonna take them I'm gonna take them more chill, not like at European Championships where I'm gonna like burn all my ships and all that Gavin and stuff for like trying to get that deadlift world record. Because that was very, very much my mentality. I like going all 100% in on that. Like but I'm not going to do that for the next couple of competitions.
It's time for more like a Keiko style, 9 for 9.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also switching over to a Keiko style rather than a Gavin style for the next couple of competitions, just to really like actually gain strength over time and like continue this momentum up. Not just up to a competition and then stop it, but continue it after the competition as well and continue going on. Because what do I have to peak for right now? I'm like 5 years younger and 10 kilos lighter than the top guys right now that I'm competing against. And I'm just not as strong right now. So I'll just have to like be on the rise.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw Brester. He did a 800 kilo total like recently.
The other day. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
He is insane. I will say he's also significantly heavier than me right now. But he is definitely stronger right now. Like I could not do a 800 kilo total right now. That would be 100 kilo PR. I think I'll be able to hang with those guys. It looks like, to me at least, like I've gained more strength per kilo of body weight to total than all of the other guys have. That's going from the 93 to 105, at least as of yet. But I'm also the tallest one. I was the most likely one to do that. So makes sense.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite powerlifter or inspirations?
Yeah, so my OG inspiration, like coming into it, was Larry Wheels for sure. He will always have like a certain place where he will be the one. But I mean, he's not even a powerlifter anymore. So not really the same thing. So right now, I'd definitely say Gavin Naden is the one. Yeah, I actually didn't even like him that much in the beginning, but after I heard his podcast and saw his competition, all that kind of stuff, I really got to like Gavin Naden. I even have one of the posters. That's very cool.
Oh damn! So not. Oh, I thought you were gonna say SSG Bob.
Yeah, also that SSG Bob is definitely a second to Gavin though. Or like that. I mean, they're just different because it's a little bit harder to compare them when SJ Bob is not competing in the IPF.
Yeah, but he's coming. He's coming.
He is coming now. I'm very, very excited for that. But they're kind of, I would say, different. Where SJ Bob is more so just like a freak of strength, just like Rondell Hunt or Jesus Olivares. Where Naden is more so kind of personality biased. Like he hasn't done anything near what those guys have in terms of numbers and strength.
Yeah, but it's more human.
Yeah, kind of.
He's
I mean, I don't want to say he's human in terms of strength, but he definitely has the potential to be at that top, but just hasn't done it yet. I would say.
Yeah, he just has to get his third squat.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll put in my predictions for Sheffield as Gavin Naden number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very unlikely, but I know no one else does that. But if he gets the third squat, he has the potential for it. I mean, if he gets 340, something like that.
If he gets the third squat, anything will happen.
Exactly.
That would be a miracle. But yeah, talking about that, who are your predictions for Sheffield? Maybe top 3 female and male.
Yeah, so I think I put in Gavin Naden number 1. Then Jesus Olivares and Jonathan Keiko. So the same top 3 as at the last time. Just different placings. Now, I don't think the safe bet would definitely be Jesus for first place, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would just be epic to see Gavin Naden actually get his third squat and actually go 9 for 9 and hit some epic lifts. Also with his new conventional deadlift and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What about the females?
Yeah, so I think definitely the 69s are going to be the favorite because that world record is literally lower than 63, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember who did I also have. I think it was a 63. Natalie Richards is also up there, I would guess. I think it was Edgar Sitko I have number 1, and then Leah Bavula, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the French 69.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we do the random questions?
No.
Okay.
So outside of powerlifting, so you said that you're coaching full time basically. So you don't have any plans of going back to school? What are you thinking the next few years? Are you just gonna keep pushing powerlifting?
For sure. After I dropped out of high school or gymnasium, whatever, I was a little bit on the fence if I should go back or something, but now I'm 100% certain I'll not go back to that. I'll definitely go this route, and it's just been very, very successful for me. And this is where I find this is what I want to do with, I don't know, the rest of my life, whatever you want to call it. So I just found something I love doing and I can actually make a living off of, at least right now. So I'll do it for as long as I can.
That's really
cool. To get better.
Yeah. Do you have any long terms in powerlifting? Maybe long term goals, when you're a senior, maybe be a 120 or something like that, or I want to be open world champion. Any long term.
Being open world champion is obviously a huge goal. Always have been. But again, the numbers thing, I still want to mostly focus on just getting as strong as possible for myself and then seeing whatever that brings me. So that's also one of the things, one of the reasons why I think Gavin is one of the people I like, because he has the same mentality for that.
Yeah.
World record. He wants to go for whatever he actually thinks he's able to do and what he can do, what his strength limitations are. And that's the same thing with me. If I'm second place at Worlds and I could pull 350 kilos or whatever number to win, but I believe I can do 360, I'll do 360. So I want to be world champion, of course. That has always been a huge goal, but the goal is to just get as strong as possible for me. That is the priority. Another long-term goal is to be an actual top powerlifting coach, because that's, I think, a little bit more sustainable, and I find it really, really fun to coach people. So I really, really like that. Also have some pretty strong people by now.
But are you thinking about doing 120s? Like when you're a senior or older? Do you think you would ever do that?
I'll probably compete in that class. I don't know if it'll fill it out. But I'll probably, I don't know. I just went into the 105s. We'll have to see, wait and see. But I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. It could be fun to do at one point for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay. So to end up the podcast, we have some like random or like get to know you questions.
Yeah.
So first off, like what kind of music do you listen to when you work out, and do you have one song that you can recommend to the listeners, like a PR song?
Okay, so that's like two groups of music. The first one is like 90s metal, like Metallica, Sabbath, like Sabbath, all Iron Maiden, all that kind of stuff. Like probably music like your dad listens to, whatever you want to call it. So that is like the primary thing that I mostly listen to, always have been. The second one is just like random TikTok, Instagram songs, whatever you want to call it. All those like those edits with that stuff.
Yeah. Like if you watch his YouTube videos, have you seen?
Yeah, like
he has the anime edits always.
Yeah, all those anime songs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I watched some of his Road to Sheffield videos and everything. That's pretty cool.
Really good.
Yeah.
So if you could recommend one song.
Yeah, like your top.
My top deadlift song at the moment is "The Final Solution" by Sabaton.
Okay, nice. Do you like to cycle your music? Maybe on maybe week 1 you don't listen to anything, and then week 4. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not often going like completely off of music. Also because I can't choose whatever people want to do as music in the gym. Are playing music in the gym at all times. But I definitely only do like full hype in the end of blocks, and also not even full hype at the end of every block. I very much view hype as a tool in the toolbox that we have to use sometimes. Sure. That use like a tool.
Yeah, periodize it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Cadito made a post about that recently, actually.
Yeah, he said the heaviest 6-plate squat ever, completely no
exactly
no hype. Yeah, he was talking about that. Yeah, I saw that.
He also talked about literally programming stuff with high and low hype, so you can program RPE this with low hype and then RPE this with high hype and stuff like that, and it really can make a big difference.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so favorite meal.
Favorite meal? Actually, I'm very much enjoying all of my meals right now. I think the most consistent one, like favorite meal over a long time of period, is my my just plain up 5 scrambled eggs breakfast. I've had that for 3 years, something like that. But my favorite meal in terms of taste and everything is probably the chicken and noodles that I'm eating right now. Did the video
your camera.
Yeah, I think it cut out.
Yeah. Oh. Should we continue?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Do you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll fix the camera. It should be fixed within 2 seconds.
Okay, so your favorite movie?
Actually, I don't watch movies. I actually don't like to watch movies in general. Let me just try.
Do you watch any TV series or something?
I just recently started watching all Star Wars, but typically I don't watch movies at all, actually, or anything like that. I haven't done that for years. Actually, because I feel like when I'm doing that, I feel like I forgot how to deadlift and squat and bench after watching. And it's not even a joke. That's actually the real reason. I feel like I lose focus and everything by being consumed by a story. I also don't like to read very exciting books because of the same thing.
Okay.
Powerlifting specialist.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can maybe guess this one, but your favorite exercise in the gym. It could be one of the SPD lifts or an accessory that you like.
Yeah, any exercise.
Okay, I mean, it's definitely bench or deadlift. Can I say both? I mean, I just not the squat. I actually like the squat.
Squat specialist.
I actually like the squat sometimes. It's just painful and achy, and I'm not strong at it most of the time. But since the bulk, it actually been going very, very good. So
Yeah.
I think I just needed to gain a little bit of weight.
Yeah,
my favorite
sure.
lift, I would say, probably is the deadlift, just because I feel like even though the bench is the most enjoyable to do, it never hurts. There's no injuries ever with that or anything like that. It's just always plain and easy and simple to do. It doesn't hype me up as much to do a very, very epic bench as it does to hype me up a very, very epic deadlift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, in your opinion, who is the best lifter in the world right now?
Yeah, it could be pound for pound or just like who lifts the much, like anything. Just who you think is the best.
Right now or of all time?
Just now, who's like in your opinion the best lifter right now?
Okay, I'll say it's between Jesus, Austin Perkins, and full potential third attempt squad Gavin Aiden.
Oh my god! No, that's
that's not a real thing as of yet, so that doesn't count. Cannot say that. So I'll say definitely between. Maybe also Rondell Hunt. That could also be a one.
Yeah.
But it's just hard because there's no one to compare him to at all. Like you can always compare Austin Perkins to like Ted Atwood and Timothy and Kelly and all those guys, and you can compare Jesus to Ray Williams and all those guys. But there's literally no one to compare Rondell to. He's just too strong. So it's hard to like get a grasp of like how good he actually is. So I'll say Jesus because he's done it in the IPF, and that is what I do. Just a little bit cooler as of now. And it is also literally like the heaviest total ever tested on tested. They're just very cool. But I think Perkins definitely has the potential to go in and take that.
Okay, so last question. If you could go back in time and, give your younger self an advice, like when you started powerlifting, what would that be?
Yeah, that's a deep question, man. Yeah. So I think I did. I'm pretty happy with where I am right now, so I don't want to change too much. So I'll just say like trust the process, something like that. If I have to give like one plain simple advice, because like oftentimes you can be in the part of something like going 2 for 9 at Nordic Championships or something like that.
Yeah.
And it sucks and it's really, really annoying, but you just have to trust the process and keep going. You just have to like trust yourself and just keep going, push forward, and just continue on, even though it sucks. Just know that like there is light at the end of the tunnel, or whatever you want to call it.
Maybe you would like say not get that coach that you got before Nordic Championship.
That would be very specific, but yeah, I can say that though. But it kind of goes together with like trust yourself, trust the process, because I didn't trust myself enough to do that full peak for the competition. I should have, if I'd done that, I'm pretty certain like the outcome would have been different. But
because you still learn to pick yourself up from the ground, like after a competition. So you still like got positives from that. Yeah, I think
very much.
Yeah.
Like I have been at the very bottom of powerlifting. They can't get any worse than that. So whatever happens now is only a good thing. Like,
yeah, I hope I never bomb out.
And this was worse than bombing out, man. It was a 2 for 9.
That was. How do you? I don't know how.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, you want to finish it up?
Yeah. So this was a fun podcast. Do you have any shout outs you want to do? Like your IG or anything? Sponsors?
Yeah, I don't have any sponsors, anything like that. IG is Benjamin Macintyre. YouTube is also Benjamin Macintyre. You can check me out there. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't really have
Nice.
anything
How
else.
come you don't have a SBD Denmark?
And we have SPD Denmark. It exists.
Yeah, but how come you're not sponsored?
Don't have enough TikTok followers. I don't know.
Nah, you should definitely be.
I mean, competing internationally wise and everything, I'm definitely like the number one young sub-junior, early junior in Denmark for sure. But I think SPD Denmark is not so much powerlifting; they're more like general training. And it's like they have like bodybuilding and strongman sponsors and stuff like that. They also have one powerlifter, but he has like over 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Oh damn!
I don't know if you know him. You probably do. Leon.
Yeah, the 66 guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's sponsored by SPD Denmark.
Huh. So it's a kind of a trend. The Danish sub juniors have a poverty squat.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, but he's actually a last year junior.
What? Oh, yeah. I thought he was like as old as you.
Yeah, most people think I'm older than him when we went together, but yeah, he's actually 5 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you for getting on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and good luck in the future with the podcast and everything.
Thanks.
Thank you,
good luck with your coaching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
It's really inspiring, actually.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool to hear, man.
Yeah. All right. Leave a 5-star review on the video, guys, on the podcast, and follow wherever you're listening to on Spotify. And thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right.